As we know in our current situation, recovery is a process, not a switch. I'm going to skip over the table of contents and get right into what we will be presenting today. About Visit Aurora, who we are, and what our mission is at Visit Aurora. Destinations International is the professional association for DMOs worldwide. According to Destinations International, a destination organization is a community asset responsible for programs promoting the community as an attractive travel destination and enhancing its public image as a dynamic place to live and to work. Through destination stewardship and brand importance, they strengthen the community's economic position and vitality, which provides an opportunity for all the people in the destination. Our mission, Visit Aurora's mission is to grow travel and tourism through world-class destination marketing, sales, and advocacy, resulting in a positive economic benefit for businesses and residents of our community. Next, we'll be going over the current analysis of the situation, which will include everything listed below. Domestic impacts. A $519 billion decline in travel spending in the US this year will translate into a total economic loss of $1.2 trillion in economic output. This is more than 9 times the impact of 9/11 on travel sector revenue. The US economy is projected to lose 9 million jobs by the end of April as a result of the travel declines in 2020. Regional impacts include Denver International Airport's TSA traffic is down 95%. Hotels, restaurants, and business closures throughout the industry, widespread layoffs and furloughs, dramatic budget cuts throughout the industry as well, and major group business cancellations all the way into 2021. To put this into perspective, a single group like the fireworks softball tournament has an economic impact of $12 million. And one single large corporate group at the Gaylord could have an economic impact of $10 million plus. This is an overview of our hotel occupancy from January to March. We just received an update from Smith Travel Research for our April results, and the impacts are even more severe than what we have listed here. This graph shows Aurora's hotel occupancy and revenue per available room. The light blue line is last year's daily numbers, and the dark blue line is this year's numbers. As you can see, at the start of COVID-19 impacts beginning on March 13th and run all the way through this report on May 5th. Our hotels have been running about 13% occupancy over the last 3 months versus 73% at the same time last year. Local business operations. March 26th through April 1st, we did a survey with our local businesses to hear how the pandemic was affecting their businesses. The graph on the right show the demographics of the participants in the survey, and a large portion of the respondents came from local lodging, food, dining, and retail businesses. The key findings were 92% of businesses could not sustain operations for more than 4 months. 74% of businesses were impacted or expecting to lay off employees. 72% of businesses were also expecting to experience a tremendous amount of revenue loss. And almost half of the respondents expected to experience a cash crunch within the next 90 days. Consumer trends. 85% of travelers will change their travel plans due to COVID-19. Half will cancel their trips completely. About 40% will change the types of destinations to either a beach or a resort destination. And once the pandemic passes, more than half are eager to travel for vacations once again. Next, we'll get into the recovery process. The steps to shut down. What we have listed here is starting on March 11th, restrictions started to take place and the coronavirus began to shut down the nation and the world. Steps to recovery. As we move past the stay-at-home order and have restrictions lifted, we will move closer towards recovery. The ultimate goal is to lift restrictions at the appropriate time to allow local visitor spending and eventually bringing meetings and conventions back to Aurora. We see three distinct scenarios for recovery: destinations with a quicker recovery, destinations with a delayed recovery, and destinations with a staged recovery. Based on our city, we feel like we will experience a quicker recovery. With our ideal location and being the gateway to the Rocky Mountains, we think we'll be able to welcome travelers back earlier in the recovery process. Here we've listed the key variables for travel and tourism industry. Obviously, it will be a different scenario for every location and destination. We've listed several examples of what will get us back to full recovery, including local infectious rates, visitor perception, willingness to travel, and the release of a drug therapy or a vaccine. In Visit Aurora's approach, we'll cover our current operations, our core objectives for the future, our travel and tourism matrix, and then we'll hear from our directors from each of our departments. Our current operation, Visit Aurora is working to acknowledge and adapt to the changes caused by the outbreak of COVID-19. It's our goal to support and sustain our destination and prepare it for and contribute to the recovery of our destination. We've already cut our budget by 65% by pausing all advertising, business travel, and non-essential programs. We've reduced our staff by 38%, and we're working daily with our city leaders, our data analysis, and our business partners. We're using research and modeling to prepare for the future, and we're creating best practices under the new guidelines. Our core objectives for the next 6 to 18 months. Most importantly, we want to work with the city to help generate sales tax and lodgers tax revenue. We want to safely welcome travelers back to our destination, provide resources and education to those who plan meetings and conventions, and create opportunities for meeting clients to feel safe and comfortable to bring meetings and conventions back. We've identified 4 distinct travel and tourism conditions and have created a matrix to help guide our recovery efforts. Travel and tourism warning: all travel is stopped and business bans are in place. Watch, be prepared to take action. Advisory: risk is low, but use caution. Outlook: no current risk, but have a long-term plan. This matrix will be used across the sales, partnership, and marketing departments to guide their approach. Next, I'd like to introduce Justin Clark, our Director of Sales, who will go over our sales strategy.
Thank you, Bruce. Utilizing the travel and tourism conditions Bruce described, we have revised our overall sales strategy and identified specific strategies and tactics to help us to remain effective throughout the COVID-19 pandemic and best position Aurora for a quick recovery. With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, we quickly realized that the impact it would have on our destination would be meaningful. And in response, we have reduced expenses, revised our 2020 sales plan of work, and carefully tracked cancellations at our Aurora hotels. We have also worked to maintain and create opportunities by regularly engaging with our hoteliers and meeting clients, aggressively work to rebook any groups affected by COVID-19, and continue to analyze market data to discover and explore any current or future opportunities to bring groups to Aurora. We have also recognized the need to collect and share safety guidelines and best practices with our hotel partners and meeting clients, and to help facilitate discussions to create new best practices and standards as conditions change. We are anticipating and preparing for recovery by shifting our sales strategy to focus on regional and drive markets, as well as other market verticals, including associations and corporations, which are most likely to recover quickly and resume meetings and conferences. We will also support recovery by working to reestablish confidence with our meeting clients through sharing the efforts our destination, hotels, and venue partners have instituted to protect the health of their visitors and the production of safe meetings and events. And lastly, we will resume actively selling our destination through sales missions, travel, and trade shows when conditions permit. Thank you, and I would now like to introduce our Director of Destination Services, Jennifer Buckley, who will detail our partnership and services strategy.
Thank you, Justin. Similar to Justin's strategy matrix, on this page you will see information for partnership and services. I will go into greater detail about some of the information that is listed on this page in the following slides. Community outreach includes 4 areas that will have increased focus during this time and for the years ahead. First, we will play an integral role in educating the community on Visit Aurora's mission, goals, by engaging and partnering with community leaders and organizations. We will have involvement in the community and tourism-related events and initiatives. Second, we will develop plans for Visit Aurora staff and partners to get involved in volunteer opportunities at Aurora-based organizations. Third, we will develop a tourism ambassador program to educate hospitality leaders and frontline associates on tourism and visitor experience. This will also allow us to connect the hospitality professionals to our community to enhance knowledge of the city and provide accessible resources. Fourth, we will plan to continue to promote the hospitality industry in Aurora schools by increasing awareness of our industry and promote our scholarship program. As for our partnership program, our current resources include takeout and delivery offerings on our website, COVID-19 updates on our website, quarterly newsletters, frequent communication with local partners. Future resources and projects include utilizing our visitor savings pass to promote to residents until visitors return and continue to onboard new merchants, share best practices gathered from various industry sectors, develop designated partner portal for information and resources, evaluate execution of future Visit Aurora events, including networking receptions and annual meetings based on updated advisories. For convention and event support, our current resources include meeting planner toolkit, COVID-19 updates on our website, communication with rebooked conventions and events. Future resources and projects include virtual site tours, providing service offerings that support evolving conditions, create and provide resources, social media posts, microsites, and additional destination marketing information to boost convention attendance. And now I'd like to introduce Randy Morit, Director of Marketing, to discuss our marketing strategy.
Thank you, Jennifer. Following the advisories against travel and stay-at-home orders, Visit Aurora paused all advertising efforts while travel was not recommended or feasible for most visitors. During the travel ban, we made severe cuts to preserve the budget for future marketing and advertising opportunities once it's safe to do so. Once we made the necessary adjustments to the advertising strategy, we then reconstructed all of our own media channels, including our website, social media, and email campaign strategies to adjust to the current needs of our audience. Our current initiatives on visitaurora.com. Immediately after the CDC announced that travel was not recommended, we put up messaging to reflect our concerns for safe travel to Aurora. We also linked resources to our homepage, to our COVID-19 update, and our takeout and delivery page, so they are highly visible and easily accessible for website visitors. We also created activities such as the Aurora, Colorado coloring book to provide entertainment while orders of stay at home were in place. On social media, we took a two-prong approach of education and what we're calling Colorado Calm, which features pictures of our beautiful reservoirs, parks, and open space. On the education side, we also directed our audience to support local businesses and provided resources for small businesses to apply for relief grants and federal loan programs. Last week, we also began interviewing local figures in the community to provide their perspective and a sense of camaraderie during this time and crisis. After hearing from our partners in the local community, the biggest thing that they asked for was a reliable and trusted source for information and updates. In response, we have provided weekly to semi-weekly updates to our partnership base and reinstated our quarterly destination newsletter to support our network. In terms of marketing trends, we're seeing more consumers looking to plan a beach, resort, mountain, and rural destination vacation. Road trips and regionalism will also grow in the following months. Consumers will also be concerned and research whether destinations have implemented new cleaning and sanitation guidelines, as health and wellness will continue to be a priority throughout the year. Lastly, consumers will look for small tourism and will consider the quality of a trip over quantity. That summarizes our current efforts, and now I'll move into future projects by sharing our vision for our Recovery Creative campaign. Focusing on the trends of regionalism, road trips, and a sense of community, we've come up with the campaign, Let's Travel New Roads Together. We'll encourage visitors to explore our wide open spaces, unique dining options, and staycation with us. We'll also create curated content of things to do that are safe once travel reopens. Here's a small sample of what a carousel ad might look like in Facebook, and you can see highlighted in this page are open spaces, food, and small gatherings of people. Now I will throw it back to Bruce to wrap up the presentation.
Thank you, Randy. I'd like to address our final takeaways from this presentation. One of the things we want to emphasize is that tourism will be the fastest path to recovery. The reason why tourism will be the fastest path is it will bring consumers back into the market, which will generate sales tax and stimulate the economy. In this process, we will also want to make sure to ensure the health and safety is a priority. And the indicators of success, the ultimate goal is creating a plan, is to increase sales tax revenue, keep local businesses open, improve resident and visitor awareness and satisfaction, and ensure the safety and the vitality of the Aurora community. And now I'd like to open up the discussion for any questions.